Hi, John. I'm Elida from American Income Life Insurance Company. I talked to you yesterday about your insurance benefits through your brother Mark with the police union.
Yeah,
Do you mind if we sit at the table? Because I have to go over your benefits with you. If you don't mind, you can sit here and I'll go
Okay.
ahead and sit right here.
cool.
Now, did you talk with Mark to find out what he's done for you and your family and why I'm here today?
No, not really.
Okay, I'll back up and fill you in on what's going on. Now, as you know, your brother Mark is a member of the Police Association.
hmm
And I don't know if you're familiar with unions like the firemen, electricians, Teamsters, and federal employees, but I'm sure you've heard they have some of the best benefits out there, right?
Right.
AIL is the unionized company that provides the benefits for all these unions and associations.
Okay.
Mark is a member in good standing with his union, and he was allowed to extend some of his American income benefits to his family members and those close to him. Now, do you know the difference between your temporary benefits and your permanent benefits?
Not really.
Well, we all have great benefits through work, but when we leave, quit, or retire from our jobs, we lose all or a bulk of those benefits within 31 days. However, your brother Mark did an amazing thing for you. If you qualify today, you'll now have permanent benefits that will follow you, and no one can ever take these away from you. So make sure to thank him.
Okay, I will.
So, John, what do you do for work?
Construction.
How long have you been doing that?
About 2 years.
Oh, okay, do you like it?
Yeah, it's rewarding.
Excellent. Now, this is a copy of the letter the police union members received. Like it says in the letter, my job is to bring by your benefits and explain your options. When I'm finished, they have you fill out this report card. That's going to go back to the police union so they know I've been here and done my job. Is that fair?
Yeah, very fair.
Excellent. Now, as the letter explains, they have me here for 3 reasons. To inform you about the food banks, to explain the benefit package your brother Mark qualified you for, and to see if you can qualify for anything permanent they have set up for the members and their families. Now, let me ask you, have you ever been unemployed or laid off?
Luckily, no.
Okay, well, the reason I ask is that American Income collects food for members in a time of need. The way they keep the food banks working is when we're at a member's home, they ask us if you would like to donate a can or two of food or some dry goods. If that's something that you would like to do, just remind me before I leave.
Okay.
Now, John, this is your accidental death and dismemberment certificate. This covers you when you die in any type of an accident. American Income is the company that covers this benefit for you. It's non-contributory and non-participating, which means you don't have to pay for it or qualify for it. Because Mark extended this to you, it's already been taken care of. Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
So verify here that you want Susie as your beneficiary.
Okay.
And I'll put your certificate in your folder so that when something happens, you'll have proof of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, got it.
Excellent. This is your health discount savings card. It's not health insurance. This card is no cost, and it will give you discounts on vision, prescriptions, hearing, and chiropractor services.
Okay.
One of our union families saved about 60% off his glasses. Pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
So here's the service number. This website also lists all the providers in your area, like Walgreens or Costco. Now go ahead and fill out this middle section, and they will send you the card so you can start receiving the discounts. Pretty nice benefit, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Now, these are your child safe ID kits. Are you familiar with Amber Alerts?
Yeah.
Well, police in our communities are actively searching for over 2,300 children each and every day. This is a vital tool. Heaven forbid something happens to your children. Some of the things you need to write in pencil, like height and weight. Update pictures on special occasions like holidays, birthdays, or school pictures. Make sure you fingerprint them. The middle section is a place for all distinguishing features, birthmarks, scars, glasses, or braces. Now, on the back is just some important information for the parents. Do you see how important this is for all children?
Oh, definitely.
Exactly. So you have a will set up, right?
Not really.
Okay. Well, this is your family information guide. It is not a will, but it is so important that you fill it out so when something happens to you, your family will know exactly what to do. After you fill this out, you want to put this in a safe place here at home. On top is where you put your vital information, name, birthday, social, etc. Have you ever been in the military?
No.
Okay, just leave that blank. Persons to be notified. So this is the most important part. Did you know millions of dollars of life insurance go unclaimed each year because either the family doesn't know about the insurance, they don't know how to make a claim, or the company can't find the beneficiary.
No.
So what they're saying is that you put down 5 people that are local and in your area. They can be there to help your family out immediately when something happens to you. So who are the top 5 key people in the local area that can help in the event of an emergency or death?
Probably my sister.
Yeah, and most people put like family, friends, or neighbors.
Yeah. There's a few of those.
Okay. Now your estate information goes here. You do have life insurance outside of work, right?
No.
Okay. If you do have it outside of work or through work, make sure to put it in pencil because it is temporary.
Okay.
This part is for your financial institutions information. Do you have checking or savings?
Both.
Okay, list that information here because when you die, someone in your family has to close your accounts.
Okay.
Okay, here are your funeral service and final requests. This is very important. Have you ever had to plan a funeral?
No.
Okay, do you want cremation or burial?
Not quite sure. Maybe cremation.
Okay, well, either way, it's very expensive. Remind me before I go, part of the program takes care of all your final expenses, but you will need to qualify for that. Do you see how important this guide is?
Yeah.
Okay, now because your brother Mark is a member in good standing with his police union, they're going to allow you to extend the same no-cost benefit package to the people in your life that are going to help out when something happens to you. So they're going to be receiving the same $2,000 accidental death and dismemberment certificate, health service discount card, family information guide, and child safe ID kits of their own. Now, they do have to qualify. They have to be over 21, live in the area, and be employed. Now, most members extend this to all their brothers and sisters, parents, and close friends. How many adult brothers and sisters do you have?
One.
Okay, who's the oldest?
Her name is Cindy.
Okay, and how many adult children do they have over 21?
None.
Okay, and what neighbors have children for the child safe kits?
Neighbors, I'm not too sure about that.
Okay.
I might have a couple friends that
Okay.
we can get that to.
Perfect. Now, they need their mailing address to get this out to them. Let's start with your brothers and sisters. What's Susie's address?
Her address is 85344 Crystal Avenue.
Okay, perfect. Now, you do text, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to send you a text. Let me know once you get it.
Okay.
Okay, now go ahead and forward that text to everyone you extended these great benefits to. That way, they have a heads up. I'll wait.
Okay. Okay.
Now, since your brother, Stephen, lives in the area, go ahead and give him a call so we can fill him in. I'll wait while you do that.
Okay.
Hi, this is Elida with American Income. They do many of the permanent insurance benefits for policemen, firemen, and veterans. I'm sitting here with your brother, and he arranged for you to receive a no-cost accidental death and dismemberment policy and benefit package. Yeah, so my job is to get it delivered to you so that you have it for your records and know what to do when something happens. There's a certificate of coverage that I need to drop off to you, along with some benefits he was able to recommend you for. It's very important. So what's the best time to drop this off to you and your wife? Oh, I'd better check. Do you live at this address? Great. What shifts are you and your wife working these days? Great, I can take care of this for you today at 6. or 4 o'clock. What times works best for you and your wife? Okay, perfect. Okay. Now, John, since you didn't find out exactly what your brother did for you, I'll back up a bit.
Okay.
Now, as they mentioned in the letter, there's a program they've set up for the members. In fact, this is the Labor Advisory Board. Okay, it consists of 54 international labor and association leaders. Now, they're very important because what they do is help to advise and make recommendations as to where the gaps in your benefits are and what benefits people need. They've asked us to read this letter to each of the members, and since Mark sponsored you, I'll read it to you.
Okay.
You see, that's the reason they were chosen to do the program for the unions, because they realize that typically 31 days after you leave your job, get laid off, or retire, you can lose all your insurance benefits or they greatly reduce. These are permanent and portable insurance benefits, and if you qualify, you keep them for the rest of your life. Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
In fact, they don't just work with police, firefighters, and teachers. They work with the 40,000 groups. They're rated A+, and over 5 million members are enrolled. So they must be doing something right, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
Huh? Now, but just because your brother Mark extended these benefits to you doesn't mean you're automatically allowed to enroll. You do have to qualify. If you're too high risk, they can't let you in. So they have me ask you a couple of questions just to make sure. So have you ever had any arrests, including DUI?
No.
Have you used any tobacco or marijuana in the past 12 months?
No.
Do you take any prescription medications?
No.
Have you ever had any health issues in your lifetime and family history of cancer, diabetes, or heart disease?
No.
Okay. Based on what you've told me, I'm not sure if you're qualified yet, but you do have a chance. So I can at least explain the benefits to you. The needs analysis determines need based on 3 things: family situation, benefits you already have, and income. So what they have me do is ask you a couple of questions to see exactly what you might qualify for.
Okay.
Now, John, did Mark fill you in on the Hour Power program?
No.
He didn't?
No.
You didn't? Okay. Hour Power is a very old principle that says members should take the first 2 hours of their weekly wage and set it aside to protect themselves and to provide for their family's future. Now, 2 hours of your wage each week is roughly 1/20th of your income, right?
Yeah.
And that's not going to change your lifestyle any, is it?
No.
Of course not. Any financial planner is going to tell you to set aside 10 to 15% of your income. Your program is based on 2 hours, which is only 5%, so all members can afford it. Now, provided that you can qualify, they allow you to set aside between $20 to $100 a week. Every member has different situations and different hourly wages. What I'm obligated to do is show you what setting aside your 2 hours combined will do and what kind of protection that will provide. When I'm done, the police union would like to have your opinion on this report card that goes directly back to them. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So, John, what do you make an hour?
About $17 now.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is show you what setting aside 2 hours will do for your family. Just like in any other enrollment period, provided that you qualify, there are forms that need to be filled out while I'm here, and that's not something that can do later over the phone. So be sure to stop me anytime that you have questions. Is that fair?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now, they're concerned with 3 major areas: accidental injuries, final expenses, and paycheck protection. The first area they're concerned with is when you're injured in any type of an accident. Have you thought about what you'll do when you get injured in an accident?
Maybe just in passing, but not giving it serious thought.
Okay. Well, the Labor Advisory Board and American Income have given it a lot of thought. Their concern isn't that your medical bills won't be taken care of. You have health insurance to take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
When it's job related, then workers' compensation is there, and a lot of members have some form of disability. What they're concerned with is lost wages and other expenses that start adding up. Now, John, when you end up in the hospital, even though your medical bills are taken care of, no one pays you not to be there. And when you get that phone call, obviously you won't be working. So God forbid something happens to any of your children, you're definitely not going to be working, right?
Yeah.
So, John, when you or your kids get hurt and have to go to the emergency room, they're going to send you up to $150 just for taking the time to get the injury looked at. And that's for any kind of accident, whether you scrape your knee, need stitches, on or off the job. That money comes to you here at home. The only exception to that is when you have to stay overnight in the hospital. They're going to send you $300 a day for up to a full year. Now, that ends up being about $1,200 a week. Now, let me ask you, when that money comes in, will that help your family?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, of course it will. Now, the only exception to that is when you have to stay in intensive care. They're going to send you $600 a day for up to 2 full weeks. Now, the reason why it's that amount is that usually when you're in intensive care, it's a life or death situation. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, now the second area that they're concerned with was your final expenses. Now, John, who's going to be responsible for taking care of your funeral and final expenses when something happens to you?
I guess maybe my sister.
Now, let me ask you, have you ever had to plan a funeral?
No.
Okay, well, the reason I ask is that it's a very serious problem. Now, the concern is not the fact that you're going to die, because we all will, right?
Right.
But when we die, someone in our family has to face a funeral director immediately. Funeral directors these days require all or a bulk of the money up front on the spot before they start doing anything. Or at least they want to know where the money's going to come from. Did you realize that?
Not really.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. So while your family is waiting for life insurance to come in, who has to take care of things in the meantime? That's right, the family. They either have to take the money out of savings if they have it, or worse yet, borrow it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now what they've done is they've created the Freedom of Choice certificate. If you qualify, you'll receive your own certificate that looks just like this. Now they call it Freedom of Choice because it's good at any funeral home. The way it works is that when something happens to you, John, your sister will take the certificate to any funeral home you choose. And when the funeral director looks at you and says, I'm really sorry for your loss. The funeral is going to cost $15,000. How would you like to take care of that today? At that point, your sister would say, John has the freedom of choice. Everything is taken care of from that point on. Now, John, in your case, they've set aside $15,000 to take care of your funeral and final expenses. What's not used at the funeral home gets sent to the beneficiary.
Oh.
Now, let me ask you, John, isn't it nice to finally have this taken care of for your family?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Now, each of your kids would be covered for a $10,000 benefit that can be converted to $50,000 at age 21, regardless of their health or habits. That they can keep for the rest of their life. Pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
Now, the only exception to this, when you die before the age of 65, it will typically be in some kind of an accident, right?
Yeah.
Now, John, when something happens to you in any type of an accident, not only will they immediately take care of all your final expenses, but they're going to send your family an additional $30,000 to help out during that time.
Wow.
Yeah, when we die in an accident, what kind of accident will it probably be?
Probably a car accident.
That's right, a car accident.
Yeah.
In that case, they're going to send an additional $60,000 plus take care of all the final expenses. And when traveling on a common carrier like a bus, plane, or train, they will send an additional $150,000 to the family. And each of your children are covered for 20% of those same accidents. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the third problem that they're concerned with is your paycheck. Now, John, you're on the way home from work and you get killed in a car accident or pass away from a stroke or a heart attack. Is your paycheck going to keep coming to support your kids?
No.
Of course not. Your paycheck vanishes just like that. But taking care of the family, putting food on the table, paying the bills, all those stay pretty much the same. So the bills keep coming in month after month, and John's paycheck is gone, right?
Yeah.
But let me ask you, you do have life insurance, right? Hopefully 700 to 900,000.
No, not really.
Okay. Well, the police union realizes that all the members do have life insurance. But here's what happens in a typical situation. When you die, your family immediately has to start dipping into those lump sums. First, for reimbursement of your burial and miscellaneous expenses. And then, because your paychecks have stopped coming in, you have to keep dipping into your savings to pay bills and put food on the table. And then a year or two later, what happens to all that money?
It's all gone.
That's right. It's completely disappeared and it's gone. So here is your paycheck protection or readjustment income. Now, John, when something happens to you, they're going to start sending your beneficiary a paycheck the very next month and every single month after that for a minimum of a full year. Now, the reason they chose at least a year is because you need a decent time to adjust. A couple of months just isn't enough time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, what they're going to do in your case, John, when you die, is they're going to start sending your beneficiary $3,000 every single month for 5 years for any cause of death. Now, that's going to give your family time to adjust, right?
Yeah.
Of course it will. Now, your beneficiaries will be in a position that when that does happen, they can take that money and get it invested in their future for children's education and retirement. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Now, this does build an emergency fund. After 3 years, if things get tight financially, there will be some money there to help take care of your program during that time so you don't lose it. There are also paid-up benefits, so when you retire, you can stop contributing to the program and keep a reduced paid-up final expense benefit for the rest of your life. Pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
Now, have you ever thought about what you'll do when you're diagnosed with a terminal illness?
Not so much.
Well, they put a lot of thought into it. In fact, they realize that you're going to need a lot of cash. When you're diagnosed with a terminal illness and not expected to live more than 6 months, they're going to send you half the final expense and paycheck protection. The other half will come to your family after you're gone. Now, there's a strike and layoff waiver so that you can't lose your program. In fact, in case of a union strike, they will take care of your insurance benefits for you for up to a year, and you never have to pay it back. Now, John, even if you can't work just 1 day because of a strike, they will take care of your benefits not only for a week, which is $500, but for a whole month, which is $3,000. And layoffs, as long as you've been working for the past 12 months, they will take care of your program for up to 3 months, and you never have to pay it back. Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
Also, the insurance benefits are guaranteed and non-cancelable, which means that if you qualify, then no matter what happens in the future to your health, age, or habits, no one can ever take this away from you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I've showed you what setting aside 2 hours will do for your family. Now, let's review it to make sure it's clear. Your accidental injury benefits are there for your family. Your freedom of choice certificate covers you and the children for any cause of death and is there until it needs to be used. Your paycheck protection and all your protections on the side here make sure that no matter what happens moving forward, you never have to lose your benefits after today. Even if you change jobs, get very sick, or move. Again, can you see why these are so important for your family?
Definitely.
Now, excellent. Now, my job, because of what your brother Mark did for you, is to give you an opportunity to get enrolled in what you qualify for. The best part is they set this up like a payroll deduction, but they do it once a month through your own checking account. That way, when you change jobs or retire, you never have to worry about losing the insurance benefits because they are under your control, not your employers or the union. Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
Now, John, let's face it. We're all going to die. We don't have a choice. Either we deal with this now or someone in your immediate family, like your sister, will have to deal with this when something happens. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, you will have to answer some medical questions to see if you can even qualify. But probably the most important question I will need to ask you is when something happens to you say a bad wreck, there will be a little over $250,000. Who do you want that money to go to?
I guess my mother.
Okay. Now, it doesn't make a difference to them which program you try to qualify for. Most families try to qualify for their 2 hours combined at $50 a week, which is what I went over with you. Some families ask if they can do more and set aside more for their family and double their benefits, which is $100 a week. Or some members choose a more basic program just to get started. And they know they will upgrade down the road provided they still qualify. Which way do you want to go?
Yes, start with the smaller one
Okay, perfect.
and then upgrade later.
Excellent. Now, this is your service file with all your important papers. It needs to be kept in a safe place here at home. Now, John, this next part is very important. Other than affordability, or because this covers everything in one, what are the top 3 reasons you have these insurance benefits?
I mean, peace of mind is one. You know, just not leaving my family members out to dry,
Mm-hmm.
and you know,
What else?
just glad to have it finally taken care of.
Excellent. Yeah, perfect. Well, we're all finished. You finally have this all taken care of. You can finally take this off your checklist. How do you feel?
Pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations. It's important for you to understand now that you have this, you should never lose it. If anything ever needs to change or you need help, call this service number. And please make sure to let your family and friends know that I will be contacting them. I'll also call you next week to say hello. Have an awesome day.
Okay, you too.